Hi there, and welcome to my sewing room. I'm excited to show you a very unique, fun, creative way to package a gift called Gift in a Can. I'm sure you've all seen these kinds of cans that open with a little flip top thingy at the top. You don't want to open that because that is what your recipient is actually going to use to open the gift. And you want the kind that has a lip on the bottom, like a lot of soup cans have pull top, but they don't have a lip. They just kind of smooth right down to the bottom. So you'll want something that you can grip. All right, so then what you're gonna do is turn it upside down. This one is actually already empty, but you're just gonna use a smooth edge can opener. Now I love the Pampered Chef one, but Amazon carries them. I mean, probably lots of places, but you wanna make sure it's a smooth edge. The other kind will not work, the kind that cuts into the can. And so you're just going to put it on there and open it up, and then you're going to pull it off, and of course mine's going to come off nice and easy, but you're going to have a lot of little stringy things that'll come up with it. Just rub those off and rub them off the can. And then what I do is rinse it out and just get it nice and clean and dry, and then we're going to start decorating it. But I'll show you first what the finished product is going to look like. Of course they can look like anything depending on what kind of designer paper you use. But this is what the can will generally look like. It's going to have some kind of a covering on it. I like a belly band, but you don't have to do that. I put a circle of paper on the inside here, and you can hardly even see it, but there's the pull top is inside there. I just have all of these stuck to it, okay? So all these items are going to end up fitting into this can. The main gift is usually like money or a gift card, but I have a lot of things to put in mine today. So what I do is I buy a whole pack of baby washcloths. I buy these by the 50 on Amazon. I get a pack of balloons. I made these little lemongrass bath salts, and that's in another video if you want to learn how to make those. I've got a little pack of baby wipes and a bib and a little pencil, a little feminine pencil, since this is a baby girl gift. So what I do is get everything folded down as tiny as I can get it. So that's going to go in. Now what you want to remember is that they're going to open it from the top. So anything you want them to see first, put that in at the top. So I might have the balloon come out first, the little ducky. I'm going to go ahead and stick the washcloth in here. The baby booties just kind of wadded up. This would go in, well, actually I probably should take this out so I can get it in there. So yes, note to self, put in anything that is kind of flat and long. Put that in the middle first, and then these other things can fit on in around it. And the pencil. So this is actually a longer pencil, and I cut it in half, sharpen it. I sharpen the other one, and then put one of those little erasers on the end. So I get two tiny pencils out of the same pencil. Okay, so this basically has to sit, everything has to sit to where nothing is around the top, because you're going to be putting this on and gluing it back in. So I'll put that in, and everything is in there. So what I do is I just do this little line, really thin line, because you don't want it oozing and oozing out onto the outside of your can, or oozing to the inside of your can where the gifts are. So I'm just doing a tiny, tiny little bead all the way around. As you can see, I'm just doing a little bit at a time so that I can keep moving it. And there we are, back to the beginning. So now I'm making sure nothing, I don't want that little string there. Otherwise, when they pull it out, the string will stick to the can. So I'm just putting that in like that. What I used to do is use really strong rubber bands. I do a couple of them. Now I use a grip thing. And now I just let that sit for a few hours. But like I said, if you're not really quite into it yet, then you can just use rubber bands. That'll do it too. All right, so now I want to show you how to make one. What you're going to use for your pattern is whatever your label is, okay? So I don't open it here because there's always glue underneath it. That's where the seam, you know, the edge of the label. So I go somewhere else on it, and I'll just use something sharp. You don't have to do this straight because really all you need is the measurement left to right. So I'll just pull that off. See, it comes off really nicely for the most part, other than this one little area. And that has now become my pattern. So what I do is I look on here. If you can come up close, you can see a lot of times the labels do not fit top to bottom. Like you can see right here, there's a 1/16 of an inch extra. So I always make my piece a 1/16 of an inch bigger than that. It's right about 4 1/4 inches for this larger pineapple can, but whatever your size can, that's what is going to be your pattern. And so the measurement then was, it was actually 4 5/16, and then from here to here where we cut it, that is the width of it, but we want an extra 1/4 of an inch in there. So I just pull it away 1/4 of an inch from where I'm going to be cutting it. And that comes to 10 5/8 is what mine happens to be. So I just get a piece of designer paper and I cut that in the dimensions that I need it. And now as far as putting it on, what I do is I use, they call it sticky tape. There's lots of different names for it, but this is what I use. And you just put it on here. What I'm going to do is use glue stick. You want something flexible at this point. So don't use a snail adhesive for putting this part on, because you want to be able to move it around on the can to get it even with the can. I like to avoid the seam and that stuff there, so I'll just put it over to the side here a little bit. All right, so you can see it fits down inside the lip really nicely. I'm going to pull it around, but see, I'm still able to maneuver it because it's just, you can't really see that, but I am moving it around on here until I get it perfectly aligned all the way around. This is why you do not want a static, I'll call it a static adhesive at this point. And now I'm going to go ahead and pull this off, and I'm going to bring it around to where it will just meet really nicely. You don't have to do a belly band, but if you want to, I think they're fun. One thing to remember though is that it's the top is here. It's real easy while you're working on this to think that this is your top, but it's not. So I'm just going to glue this on as it is. Circle on the top. This is obviously not going to sit on top of it. Whatever this looks like is going to be completely covered up in ribbons by the time you get done. So there, that fits on nicely. You've got that little place that shows, but it doesn't really matter. So I will go ahead and get that glued on. I want to show you what's on the top and how to do these bows. So what you're going to do is you'll have longer ribbons than this. I mean, they're probably about 4 inches. And you're just going to take the tip of it, do cut it at a point like that, and you're going to pull this up just a little, because you have to be able to get under there. So you're going to pull it up, but don't pull too much or the thing will come off. So you're going to push this underneath here and tie it. Obviously it's going to be longer, so you'll be able to have more to work with. Okay, and then another thing is, if you are into roses, I know not everybody is, but I love little rose buds, especially for a baby gift. And I've got this one all ready to go. So this can go right on here, or it can go right on here. And I'm going to just go ahead and put it on. It's kind of at a little angle. I've got all these little adhesives on the back, and so it's ready to stick. Then I also want to show you how to do a tag if you'd like to have that on there. I always do a tag with it. I've had gals at showers, they can't see how to open it. They don't realize that there's a little pull tab underneath there. So what I have fixed up, and this is part of a free printable that you can download. It says on this little label, there's an intact, unopened pull ring under all the ties, just waiting for you to pry it up, pull it back, and rip off the lid. So what I will do is just cut one of these. I have punches that I've used, but you can also just cut it into a little rectangle. And then what I do is I glue this onto the back of the tag. And I have all sorts of tags. I've made these for a variety of gifts. They can be for a wedding. I've done lots of them for weddings, graduation, sympathy, birthdays. I did several camel cans for my grandsons and put all sorts of survival items inside of it. So there's my little instruction label. So what I do is I will cut one side, and now I flip it over, hold the corners together, and I cut the other side. Okay, now I'm going to come down a little bit, so I'll go like that. Normally I would have a punch here, but I've got something else I will use, and I'm not going to have this go through my finger, so I'll just do it right on here. Okay, then I take my cord, and this is the kind of a tie or a fastener. It's kind of a tie where you just take your cord or ribbon, you fold it in half, and I want to make that nice and tight because this needs to fit through there. So I bring it through just a little ways, inch or two, and I take the tails, and I'm going to put the two tails through that loop and pull it up, and that's my fastener. So now the tag is ready to go. But I want to do one more thing. I want to decorate it just a little bit. So I'm going to get a little piece of the same scraps that I had of my can, and I put these on the, I get a little tiny strip of it, put it on the tag. And then what I do is, instead of trying to get the size exactly right, I go off on the edge a little bit, and then I can just trim it from the back. So that's my guide. So there, I've got a cute little tag. And the way I attach these is I'll open up the cord there, I'll put them down underneath here, kind of like a bib, and I'll go all the way to the other side so it's surrounding everything, and just tie. I can do a bow with it if I want it to show very much, or I can just tie it in a double knot and trim it down to the size of the others. And speaking of which, that's the other thing I'm going to show you. You can do this just like this without doing any trimming. That is cute. But if you'd like to give it a haircut and make everybody about the same size, I always do the cuts at an angle. So some of these are just a little bit long, and they don't need to all be the same, but a lot of people enjoy doing a little haircut on them just so they're a little bit more uniform in size. But this is what it looks like, and you kind of puff them up because they're sort of uneven when you're starting out. And just kind of fluff them up a little bit. You've got that hanging down. There you go. You've got a fun little gift. And then at the shower or wherever they get this, they're going to know, because of this, how to open it up. So enjoy. I hope you have fun doing these. I have an absolute blast doing them. I'm going to be showing you other kinds of cans for other events as well. So thank you for watching.